when I was a young lad, even younger than you, right? You take everything in that people say, and you believe them, and you believe that they have good intentions and so on. And the older I get, it's difficult to realise. I now know that a lot of people don't have good intentions, and they will exploit you and take advantage of your take advantage of your goodwill. And when you just try to help people, a lot of the time you're just trying to help people and do things, nothing special, just and a lot of the time they think you're a mug. Yeah. And I think it's way back in time. I think it was G.K. Chesterton who said, "Well, I'd rather trust everybody and be made a fool of than have a very negative attitude about people." I mean, there's certain people you know straight away, but you've got to listen to people, hear what they're saying, and get involved or whatever. And sometimes you're disappointed that you're taken advantage of, but you go, I'd rather be taken advantage of than have the approach of looking at everybody suspiciously.
Yeah, I mean...
It may not be G.K. Chesterton who said that.
I mean, my experience of my time on this planet, because 2017 was the year that I met what was at the bottom of the cliff, and I learned that goodwill is finite, and that it's a quote that I coined this week, actually. Always give less than you have, never more. Because I think once you pass, when you give more than you have.
Well, it's the cup of goodwill or whatever, and as you say, it's finite, and it's difficult. And when you're in a difficult position, and I'm sure you've been in difficult situations, possibly horrendous situations, and so on. And I won't say the details here, but I've been in some desperate situations. In particular, desperate situation back in the early 2000s, and you need two things. And it's the only decent song of Labi Sifra. I think he's a South African guy. Something Inside So Strong. It's about South Africa. Maybe he's English. All his other songs I don't like at all. They're very cheesy, but this is a great song. Something Inside So Strong. It's about apartheid South Africa, as it so happens by coincidence. But you need something inside you. But the vast majority of people, it's only 0.0% who just can deal with their situation, with a desperate situation, just with that. The vast majority of people need someone to support them or a supportive background. And if that doesn't happen, then even if they've got that strength within them, it's still really difficult and they may not do it. And similarly so, I've seen people where they've been in situations and situations that I've been in, that I had help getting out of and was able to get out of, and it's now well past me. And these people in particular, I've tried to reach out to and say, well, so I'll go through things and explain things and say, well, this is the sit down, you need to do this. And when they listen and they say, yeah, well, that's good, I'll try that. So, and some of them, they don't do it. They don't do it. And if they don't take the action when they've got the support and when the abuser sees that they're going nowhere, then they get even worse. They get even worse then, and it's even more difficult for them to get away. And I see there's lots of people like that. lots of people in that situation. And it's in that situation that I despair, because you've maybe you've tried to give them support. You've tried to say, well, this is my experience. This is what you do, and they haven't quite had the courage to do it. And I know when I had support in the desperate situation I was in, I had this feeling in my stomach, and I had to take, it was a deep breath to sort of take the action I had to do. But as soon as I took that action, or that course of action, I knew straight away that was the right thing to do. But doing it, that was a massive barrier to do it.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I'd been in a very similar situation to you, and I mean, for me, it was I didn't do it, and at the time that I did it, it was too late. There's a quote that was sent that says that something along the lines of "do it now because later might be never." And when it's never, that's when it's you face a journey of self-rediscovery, which is what I'm on at the moment, and this is part of my my campaign to self-rediscovery.
Good.
So
Yeah. See, I was an idiot. I think I was about 50 or something when I took this action.
I mean,
you're younger than me. You're, it's always difficult. It's always difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I admire, challenges and difficulty. Difficulty. Essentially, it's hard becomes easy. That's the transition of life. We weren't born walking.
And when you look back at it, you go, I wish I'd done that before.
Of course. It's the beauty of hindsight, which we don't have in the present.
No.
So.
And it's so difficult.
Yeah.
If you're just there on your own.
I think even in I think my experience in life is that it's about understanding the balance of life. Sometimes in life we need to be on our own, and sometimes in life we need to be surrounded by others. And who we are surrounded by is what is most important.
And that's what matters.
It's what matters most, because it's a thing where, as you can imagine, we both understand we've shared some difficult challenges in our lives, but understanding as well, or not forgetting that the guy upstairs might not always be your friend. If you befriend your enemy, then that in itself, that's when later becomes never. But but it's those who have that thing inside, something inside so strong that's able to tap into those lost souls and those who want to be connected again.
And I mean, I agree with you completely, right? And understand where you're coming from and so on. The problem is that not many people have time to give to others. They've got not because they're malicious. I mean, there's plenty of malicious people, but not because they're malicious. Just because they've got their own life to live.
Sure.
And they've got their own. Everyone's got problems. When I resolved my horrendous problem, I still had problems, but these were problems of life. And problems of life, day-to-day problems, you can deal with, or it's nothing straightforward, but you can work at it and get it going. The problem is, the big issue is that this isn't affecting millions of people. It's affecting billions of people. Billions of people. And in my experience, even at my having with my life experience, I can see all these people in difficult situations. It's difficult, and in my work experience, I worked at nearly 1,000 places. And not quite the same, but it's similar. There's about 5 or 10 places I saw where people were happy with what they were doing.
Wow.
And you go, how do they put up with it? But that's it, that's the day-to-day pressures, let alone whatever else was going on at home or in the rest of their life.
just got me thinking, because my brain's ticking again. And if it's me saying this to you, how does this make you feel? Those who are comfortable with nothing appreciate everything.
I'd say that's more like it. That's more like it. It's amazing.
It's weird, isn't it? The paradox of happiness.
And well, this is Balzac, the French author.
Okay.
Where there is great wealth, and I paraphrase here, where there is great wealth, there is a great crime. Yeah? And of course, if you want to get on in present-day society, your success is measured by your monetary value or your possessions and so on. And it's not the people who deserve. In 99.999, I'll go for 5 nines, % of the cases, they haven't got to that position because they deserve it or anything. They've got to that position because they're trampling over people. They're using the goodwill of people. And they're the ones who are not, not all of them, but the majority of them are not, don't have that generosity. And some of them with a conscience, when they've got their millions or they've got their comfortable place, will do a bit of lip service and a bit of philanthropy, or, to salve their conscience.
Yeah.
They're not doing it because they're generous, because they could have done, they've accumulated so much wealth on the back of the hard work of others, because that's the only way you get it. The only way you get wealthy is the hard work of others. That's the way society is. And so it's the people who don't have much.
Don't give everything.
And the phrase you said, which was a great phrase, who will, more likely to get involved. And the people who've got the money don't really want to get involved, but they do the philanthropy, but they'll spend it on things that they will want to control, and not, and make careers for themselves, and well-paid careers for people who are administrating all their philanthropy.